Hello and welcome to my guide to the Burden of Eternity. This guide will cover the best ways to spend them and the 5 different methods in which you can obtain them. Now these are, just to give you a bit of a primer, these are a relatively rare item on the Timeless Isles that will upgrade one of the armor caches or like armor token pieces to a 535 timeless piece of gear. Now there are 5 different ways you can get these, a few of them are guaranteed and then the rest are basically just RNG or spending your coins. So first there is a 100% chance from the burning chest. Now you can see how to get to it with my how to get to the Order on Sanctuary guide if you want the full details, but if you're wanting to get there without a cloak, essentially you want to go outside the island. Well, first you want to buy the gliders. I forgot what they're called, but basically they're in the Celestial Court. There's an NPC, you buy a glider for 1,000 coins. That you then go outside the island so that you can fly. You fly way up high, like not above the Order on Sanctuary, but you know, just outside. Then you dismount, use the glider, and it'll glide you in. In terms of where you land, you want to land in the northern semicircle. And this is because that's where the chest is located, and also if you land anywhere else it'll port you out because you don't have the cloak. So there's your first way of getting it. This is pretty nice to get a guaranteed one. Now next there is a 100% drop chance from the Arcurius of Flame quest. For this quest you have to use a Scroll of Challenge at the 3 Breeze Terrace, and this quest is unlocked after you get honoured with Xiao Hao. Now this is probably, you know, you'll need a group, but honestly, as long as you just say in general chat that the Arcurius is up, a giant big zerg of people will come. And since it's a rare, it can be multi-tapped by people. It's a pretty hard boss, not hard, but it kills a lot of people. That said, the giant zerg of players will definitely be enough to get it. Now it can also be purchased off Mistweaver Eye for 50,000 timeless coins, which is quite a lot, but it is at least a guaranteed way. Now they can also drop from Kukuru's chest. Now this has recently been nerfed, the drop rate's been nerfed from the chests. Now the way this works is it costs 500 tokens to get one of the, sorry, not 500 tokens, 500 coins to get a key to one of his chests, and when you open one of the chests you have a chance of getting some timeless coins, a Burden of Eternity, a pet, a few other things. Now most of the time you'll actually have a net loss of coins, but there is that chance for Burden of Eternity. Now unfortunately this was recently hotfixed to be nerfed, so while you might get lucky and get them for a rate of less than 1 per 50,000, so you might get them for, you know, better than the usual going rate, your experience could also be the opposite and you could lose a lot of timeless coins and gain nothing. Whereas at least Mistweaver Eye is guaranteed guaranteed Burdens of Eternity. It's a bit of a hard dilemma, to be honest. Now finally this is also dropped off mobs with a drop rate of 2 to 4% off the rare elites. That's according to Wowhead, and it pretty much correlates with my own findings. And it seems to have the highest drop rate with the Arcurius of Flame on Wowhead with a 4% rate, and this is actually the one time I did get a drop off a mob. It was from the Arcurius of Flame. Bear in mind that is not, you know, get the quest reward, that's just dropping off the dead corpse of it. Now they also drop off at a very low rate off the normal elites that are just roaming around the island, but I do emphasize it's a very low rate. Now that's it as far as getting the Burdens of Eternity, but what about spending them? Well, you simply right click on the burden, then you right click on an armor token, and it'll make you a 535. Now the stats are randomized and they correlate to your loot spec, so be sure your loot spec is for the right, the right spec that you want it. Now because it's randomized, the itemization can be really bad, and honestly this is quite annoying because you can use one of these relatively hard to get Burdens of Eternity and it'll just give you a rubbish, like a terribly itemized piece. So it's a bit of a problem, because, you know, it's not like you're going to have loads of Burdens of Eternity to just throw at gear. So personally I don't have much use of these because I'm doing the normals, but I have been using the Ask Mr. Robot Burden of Eternity upgrade tool. It basically calculates what's best like to spend on. Now unfortunately it's a premium feature, but I know I'm a raider, so I actually have quite a lot of use for their premium stuff. You can just like calculate so many useful things, and it saves me doing the maths. But anyway, that is essentially everything you need to know about Burdens of Eternity. They're a little bit hard to get, and they might piss you off when they give you a really badly itemized piece of gear. Actually, you know what, I'll just throw this at the end, bit of a suggestion to Blizzard. You should be able to use these on the timeless pieces of armor, so that's after you've taken them out of like being a token, you know, after you right click them, and then you can see the itemization, so that way you would just be able to use the Burden of Eternity on a well itemized piece of gear, which just makes sense when you think about it. But anyway, enough of that rant. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope it helped out. No, it's not the most complicated thing, but hey, guides help people. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.